Okay, getting ready for round 7. So apparently I did win game 1 against Mill last time. I didn't realize there were still cards left in my library after the Tasha's Hideous Laughter. I assumed that my library would be empty, and I almost conceded, but luckily my opponent conceded faster, so yeah. I think part of what saved me was Cultivator Colossus being 7 converted mana cost. Well, this hand's certainly interesting. I think I'm gonna keep... If my opponent's on a discards deck, then having redundancy of ramp is good, and I think I'll be able to draw into a land off these Explorers. Hammer is definitely the worst thing that I could face with this hand. I would like to not give my opponent any cards off this Esper Sentinel. Oh my. Okay. Well, we can at least hold off. Maybe we can't hold off. I'll hold off one turn on casting any Explorers. Okay. Given this, I think I still want to wait before I cast any Explorers. Maybe if I miss on land again. Okay. So we need to hit probably bounce land here. Okay, so we need an Explorer to hit a Grazer. Okay, so we lose. Yeah, I kept a hand that I think was good against specifically like the Luris decks, and it was definitely bad against Hammer, but I kind of feel like Hammer is falling out of favor for a lot of people, so yeah. Force of Vigor makes the matchup a lot better, and the extra engineered explosives, and then Karn is obviously very good if I can get it in play. So we can maybe mulligan a little bit better now knowing what we're up against. Yeah, I just really didn't want to mulligan to Oblivion against like Grixis Death Shadow, which I think is the Lurrus deck I'm most afraid of. Or even like Red-Black Lurrus. I should respect that Hammer is still a deck, though. I mean, even against Hammer, though, it's not like that hand was terrible if it just, like, drew lands. Or, like, they were doing things like turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic instead of, like, Esper Sentinel. Would love to see a Force of Vigor in my hand. Force of Vigor is such a powerful card that, like, sometimes it allows you to even keep hands that aren't really ramping. which is generally like the way that you decide whether to keep a hand with Amulet or not is based on whether it has ramp. Yeah, I'll keep this. I think I'll lead on Engineered Explosives for one. It does expose the Engineered Explosives to Prismatic Ending, but it protects it against discard spells. It does sort of give away what it is we're doing, but I think I can live with that. I'm just going to play out the Forest and Pass. I can make a token with the mana, or I can blow explosives. And I'm tightening next turn anyway, so... Like, if my opponent lets me, if like they just don't put any pressure, I'll just make a token and I'll keep the Engineered Explosives. Like, even with Amulet in play, having the Engineered Explosives on one is still great as a way to interact. So yeah, so Scardizade. Sure. Yeah, I'm fine with how this is going. I don't feel any pressure to use the Engineered Explosives. I get to just make a Primeval Titan, haste the Primeval Titan. If they try and like block and like hammer in combat, then I just blow the explosives and my opponent's left with nothing. If they don't ambush in combat, then I can just, like, Karn. Maybe I don't even want to Karn. Maybe I just want to hold up explosives. Sure, I'll just hold up Engineered Explosives until my opponent forces me to do otherwise. Pierce Steel, sure. Colossus Hammer, yeah. Yeah, okay. So that went well. So let's run that back. Explosives did a lot of work that game. Like, even though our opponent, like, wasn't playing into it, just by, like, sitting there and forcing them to, like, respect it. This is kind of what I was saying. Like, this hand doesn't really have ramp in it. It sort of has pseudo ramp. I mean, it... Yeah. Okay. So they take the Force of Vigor here. We're still not in terrible shape, though, because we get to Saga and then Vesuva into Saga. So that Thoughtseize is very good from our opponent. If we can avoid, like, a turn 2 hammer, though, I think we're okay. Ooh, if they get to kill our map, that's scary. Oh, hammer? Okay, so now we need a green source or we're dead. Or a, force. Yeah, yep. Opponent had Thoughtseize into turn 2 hammer. That beats us. Okay. So, unfortunate. Let me be careful here, because I did almost throw away a game that I won earlier. I guess I'll pass and I'll at least make them attack me. Yeah. Yeah, I think the hand was good. I think our opponent just had a better hand. Thoughtseize into turn 2, like, specifically they had turn 1 land, Thoughtseize, M Knight, turn 2, Sigarda's Egg Hammer. Like, that's about as good as it gets with that deck. So if we lose to their best hand, that's okay.